All right, let's check out the day here. So far, it's overnight created this huge pintail on the NASDAQ futures of the MNQ. This is the micro contracts I'm trading. And it is below the low of the previous day. And this yellow dashed line it's below now a pivot level that happened back in February or end of January, right over here. So it's actually looking bearish. I was interested, and I still am interested in trying to go long on this, but it's tricky because you're going to have to let it drop down a lot more. And in order for it to be a reasonable price to get long on it, it's going to have to drop down into this pintail some more. I can see why people would want to short this, but at the same time, look at the pintail it's created, the strong move up. And it's already been down several days, all the way down without, the moving averages haven't even crossed yet on the daily chart, which means it's due really for a pullback. So I'm looking to go long on this, but I'm only entered long on my simulator account in the bottom left. And we've already made $100 today scalping in this range before the market opened. And now we are long 1 micro on the simulated account. I am looking to go live on the Apex accounts, a top left and top right. Okay, so now it's sweeping liquidity. The bottom right is my personal account. The top two are Apex 50K challenges, which can lead to real money. And the bottom left is just simply a simulator. I always trade on the simulator first to get warmed up at this stage in my life. And I'm looking to trade with my personal account at some point here on the bottom right. But I need to get warmed up here a little bit more than I am. And I'm waiting for a lower price. So it could be that it is at a nice lower price here after sweeping these levels of liquidity here. I'm using the 2000 tick charts. I use time and minute charts as well, hour chart and all that good stuff. But I like to trade on the 2000 tick chart. So I'm waiting for some kind of entry. And I'm thinking that if it goes down a little further, let's look at the 10,000 tick chart here, like the 5-minute chart. If it drops down into these levels down in here, I would be interested in going long on it in my real account money, my real money accounts. Sweep that level, sweep this level, I definitely would be interested. And if it sweeps it fast and it comes down hard, then I'm very interested because the snapback is more likely. All right, so let's take a look at this. I'll show you guys what I'm doing when I do it. Okay, market's fallen pretty good here. I added another one, so I'm long 2 on the simulator instead of 1. And our average price is right here. We're just waiting patiently to see if it continues to go down into a reasonable spot of support. We're watching this level over here where it had some consolidation. That could be, after it sweeps, an area of interest for real money accounts. I'm not quite there yet. And like I said, the simulator will probably break even or something on it today at some point, but I'm using it to take a drawdown, take the drawdowns out of my psychology to where I'm, in a pretty good place to add if I think it's going to bounce with my real money accounts. So let's see where it goes next. Okay, I let it fall all the way down to that liquidity level on, you can see it clearly on the 5-minute chart or even the 60-minute chart. Well, let's look at the 15-minute chart. Here we go. And then I went long on my real account. Right here, this liquidity sweep right here, 15-minute chart. I went long on my real account, but I had an ATM strategy that knocked me out for a couple ticks on accident. So that sucks. And this would have been, I would have been in this trade long on my real account. So I had the guts to pull the trigger. I waited and waited until this had a drawdown about $350. And I entered after the liquidity sweep in my real account money. So this is what I'm trying to do. I just forgot that I had put on an ATM strategy over here that only had a 10-tick stop loss. All right. So this is what I'm trying to do. This would have worked. The idea is good. And right now we're bouncing back up over the top of the ads. I added down here. We're over the top of that. Here's our break-even price for everything. All it's got to do is get even just close to that. We'll break even for that gigantic move down. And breaking even is the best you can do sometimes when price incredibly goes against you. So that's why we add a little bit in certain liquidity sweep areas. Liquidity sweep areas are the best places to add. A lot of times it'll stop people out and go right back up. Anyway, that's what happened. It came down, I added, it came down, I added, lowered my average price on the simulator. When it got down to that last liquidity sweep, I added to go long on this real account. This is my personal account. This is not the Apex accounts. The top two are my Apex accounts. And I went long here in my real personal account. And then I forgot I had an ATM stop strategy, which ticked me out for a stop loss. And I'm not going to jump back in and chase it, but it's good to see and observe and analyze that, hey, my idea is working. I like the strategy of combining the simulator drawdown with the real account setup. Anyway, I don't know if I'll do that forever, but it seems to be an interesting idea for now. I will try to keep doing that and see if it works in the future. And if I take any more trades, I'll let you know. Okay, one thing I'm trying to do is not go heavier than like 5 contracts or something like that, because I have to trade realistic, And so let me just explain what we did down here on the demo account. I missed my trade on my real money account, and I didn't want to take it again down here. Just a little psychological issues, but this trade would have been beautiful if I had not gotten stopped out. So I removed the ATM on that, and now I'm good to go. Over here on the demo account, at this point when it did this double bottom candle formation and consolidated right here, I felt very comfortable with going long. I like this double bottom, try to sell, and then a consolidation above the 20 EMA, and I got long right here. And I sold up here, and I sold another one up here. So now when I added right here, that was 4, only 4. I had my plan to sell 2 if it comes down here and just take the bite and keep 2. And let it roll down, and then add those 2 back later for another bounce up. Okay, so what did we do here? I added 1 here. Let's just go back over this so everybody can see kind of what's going on. We are currently up $100 on the entire trade. I think our drawdown was like 400 at one point. On this particular trade here, let's go ahead and take a look at it. Where did I start this thing at here? Trade 6, all the way up here in the range. You can see how high it was when I started this trade, all right? That's pretty high up, okay? And now we're already making money back on it at the low point where we added. So scalping in the right spots at the right times with your risk amount in mind and where you're going to stop out and how you're going to adjust, and it's very important. It's all part of the same plan. It's all part of the same trade. This trade that started up here, I knew I was going to add, the goal is no more than 5 contracts. But by the time it got down here, here's where I added 1. I added 1 here at this liquidity sweep, and it kept going, right? And then I waited for this liquidity sweep down here, and I added another one. Actually, the real money account was down here at the liquidity sweep. I actually added before the liquidity sweep on the simulator. And then I said, if it drops down further, I'll do the real money account. And that's why I jumped in with the real money account. It went up, came back down, formed this bullish turnaround area, and I got long with my 4th one. So there's 2, there's 3, and here's 4. And then I started scalping up. I got my average price for all the times I added, marked up these yellow lines. I know exactly where I want to get out for a profit on that. And now we're in a good position with just 2 micros to add back if it continues to go down. I would be long 2 contracts here anyway, even if it fell below these 2 pivots, because that was my plan all along when I added the 4th one. I said, if it doesn't work, I'm going to have to bail on half my position here under these 2 pivots and just hold 2. I scalped out of 2 for a profit, and I'm holding 2 now, and we're in a good position, very good position. I'll even scalp out of 1 or more of them because we don't know what the day is going to hold. If it crosses that other yellow line, hits my target, then I'll only be holding 1. So let's see what happens. Okay, I see this W pattern with consolidation taking place here on the 10,000 tick chart. It's one of my favorite patterns. W pattern, it's a 2 try to sell, it's double bottom. Then it consolidates and it can push up from there. It can also come back down, sweep these levels before going back up. So I do have my real money account order waiting for me if it does a head fake to the downside right here and then shoots back up, I also have my plan for re-adding to this real money account if it goes down lower. I'm going to trade it the same way I do my simulator, except make sure I don't go very large in my size. I don't want to blow this thing. Okay, so I'll let you know what happens. All right, I decided to go long in the Apex account here and put my real money account, the order down a lot further, maybe even at the very tippity top lows. And I'm thinking maybe I trade only one of these accounts at the same time. So I'm not sure. I better have some clarity on what I'm doing here, because I don't want to have to battle two different accounts at the same time. I got my real money, my real personal account order down here waiting, not here under these pivots, because I'm already long on the Apex challenge and I don't want to put the orders close together. So let's see what happens here. Okay, so what happened? We still got 2.5 hours left, but here's the simulator. This thing just kept dropping and I kept scalping. And we scalped all the way down here and finally got into 9 contracts long, which is way more than I like. I like to be at 5. But 10 is an emergency. Up to 10 micros is an emergency. I was at 9 and we scalped out up here at the top, finally closed the position, and we are up $10. That's it. $10 little dollars only on the account. Let's see right here. Yep, $10 on the top simulator. Now on the Apex, we're still struggling. 250 drawdown so far. We haven't closed it, so it hasn't really hit the drawdown. It's unrealized. And my live account, we're down $6. As you can see right here, the simulator, we're up $10. I broke even on that for the most part. Now my Rithmic for Ninja Trader Broker, down $200, almost $300. That is not realized yet. So we have a limit of $2,500 to bust the account. I'm hoping I can get break even on this too. And on my live account, you can see we're down $6.72. Over here in the bottom right, where we said I was going to put that order down here, wait for it to come get me, I reassessed everything as everything was falling down. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and just cancel that order. And I never did do a live trade after that. It just kept dropping and dropping and dropping. I almost pulled the trigger right here, but I didn't. So we're still down $6 on that account. I am waiting to see if I can get something here going with this Apex challenge. 50K Apex challenge right here. All it's got to do is get up here to break even, and I won't lose anything on the day. But we started off up here. And again, the thing that threw me off was the day looked bullish because of a daily pintail. Here's the day chart now that it's developed to the downside, but it was very, very high all the way up. I should have known, and I was thinking, if it falls below the previous day's pivot and this dash line, which is a pivot from a few days ago, or actually a few months ago, that I need to be careful or go short, and I didn't. So I'm glad it happened. I'm glad I'm aware of it. I'm glad it failed. It's another lesson to learn about being on the right side, and I almost made the right decision today. So I'm getting closer to making that right decision. Again, we broke even on the simulator. I'm trying to do the same thing on the Apex. If I break even on everything today, it will be a close bullet and a very good learning experience. So let's see what happens with the Apex account. This is so nerve-wracking. All it's got to do is get there and get me for break even, and I will have made back everything and be right at a good standing with this Apex account. Yes, I've been praying. I've been doing the praying method. I got to go and reevaluate my mistakes, and I'm pretty sure I can learn those, Lord willing. I just want to break even. I don't want to have any drawdown on this account if possible. Get it? Get it? Okay, guys, we did it. We actually have a little bit of a profit on this account. My Rithmic for Ninja Trader Broker, $8.88, no drawdown. Let's go check out the Rithmic accounts here. Yes, see, $50,043. So we've made $43 on our third day of trading. Altogether, 3 days of trading, we're up $43 altogether. Very tiny amounts. Okay, I want to be very clear that I had a drawdown of about $550 on the Apex account, except it was never closed. I never closed my position, therefore my account with my Apex is still full The $2,500 drawdown is still intact. None of it has been used. Now what happened was, again, just recapping here, we got long when we should have been shorting, okay? So I got long up here. I added right here. It made the average price right here. And as you can see, price never got up to that average price. If I did not add a third one right here, dropping the average price down in this area, I never would have been out of this for a profit closing before another huge crash. I got lucky, basically, on the wrong side of the trade again. Now, I'm going to get it. I'm going to figure it out. But when I came in today, when we all started our day today, the NASDAQ futures had a big pintail right here, and price was trading at the very top. It looked like a very bullish move. And I completely ignored everything else and was just thinking that's not going to go down that whole pintail again. And it did. It swept down below the entire pintail, right? And it continued even further down. So it's a huge learning lesson. Don't worry about the pintails as much as what's going on the other charts. So it's a great learning experience. Again, though, we basically broke even. Let's check out the accounts here. All right, our apex is $8.88. We barely got out of that alive. It was down about 550, so I could have lost my, that much of the drawdown. Thank goodness I did not. My real money account, the accidental trade cost me $6.72. It was an accident. Did not mean to take that trade. It would have been bullish. It would have been positive. It would have been green. All right. So anyway, the simulator barely made some money today. I was pretty down on that as well. And that's really what we end today. I got to get the direction right. I've got to learn to go with the direction, and I'm going to get it. It just takes time and practice. And what's good about going the direction, once I go to the direction, let's take a look at this on the day chart here. If I were to short and it went up green on me, it'd be no different than what I had to do today to break even, which I'm getting better at. Breaking even is not a way to pay your bills or make a living, though. I can't make a living breaking even every day by fighting the trend. Going with the trend, if I would have went with the trend, I could have made a whole bunch of money on this downtrend here. And then if it spiked up against me, I would have done what I did today, scalping my way out of it and breaking even on the counter trend. So counter trend trading is what I'm really just kind of getting good at. But counter trend trading is a survival mechanism, not a money-making strategy. It's to get out of the trade at break even or a very low, down draw. So I hope I remember that in this video. When I watch this over and over, hear myself say over and over, go with the trend. If you can find the trend and you know the trend, go with the trend. And if I have to use this strategy to get out of something, then use it as a reserve strategy. Don't use it as my primary strategy. Anyway, we'll see you on the next video. Lord willing, peace.